Hey guys, it's Eric.
Tim?
Glenda?
We are D&D Miniature and Board Games. So tonight, we went ahead, we played the new Guardians Chronicles, Clash of Heroes. We had done an earlier review on this when it was originally Kickstarter with the beta rules and the old Guardians Chronicles. But now that the new one's come out, we wanted to revisit it after we played it and give our opinions and our thoughts on it now that we have everything for the new game.
Now, mind you, instead of following and playing the game versus one another, we used a cooperative scenario for this.
Well, which is allowed with the new rules.
Right.
So, because you can play solo, cooperative,
Right.
or against the person.
Basically, instead of us fighting each other and really, hating each other and then possibly passing the score along to the game, we decided to work together.
It worked for us tonight, right? Did. Yeah, I did.
Yeah, we won. It took a while, but we won.
Also, based on the fact that we wanted to go cooperative, instead of using the scenarios that were offered, you could design your own.
Yeah.
So, I went ahead and before everybody got here, built a map of a street with buildings where we had to rescue the Big Bang Theory cast.
I like this.
Yeah, we had to save those nerds.
Yes.
And
Tim.
Penny.
Artwork and graphics.
Well, for those of you that might be watching our review for the first time, we score on a 1 to 5 scale. 1 being not so good, 5 being holy crap, that's the best thing I've ever played.
3 being just average.
Yeah, three's just average, and we go by graphics and artwork, rulebook, components, replayability, and Fern.
And for those of you who don't speak Tim, fun.
I said it, Fern.
Yeah, graphics and artwork.
It's a superhero game. I love the first one with the graphics and artwork that were there. This one, they didn't leave anything off. This one, 5 across the board for me for graphics and artwork. Everything is fun to look at, interesting to look at, makes you want to read it versus paying attention to what's going on in the game.
True.
Yeah, I'm getting those backstories because I'm one of those kind of comic book nerds.
Glenda?
I gave it a 5. I like the graphics and artwork. It's perfect. It's superb. It's just very appealing and clear. So, and really comic-y. It's just perfect.
I collected comics for several years back in my 20s, and
Now he's 60.
I have 10 long boxes upstairs.
Good grief.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Well, you know me. Hey, you know me. If I do something, I overdo it. Yeah. But based on that, and if you collect comics, you collect superheroes as well. Looking at the cards, looking at the artwork, all the graphics, I gave this a 5. It was like looking at a comic. I liked it. Tim, rulebook.
Short and sweet on the rule book. It doesn't address everything that's involved in the game. If it does, I couldn't locate it. And I'm not 100% if this being the second edition, is that how we want to
Episode
say
2?
it? Yeah, episode 2, yeah. However it works out. It doesn't say that it works in conjunction with the original rule book. It reads like this is a whole game by itself. This is the rule book. And with that aspect of it and not being able to feel like I'm playing it as intended, I had to give it a 2. I really thought that it didn't answer the questions, and it wasn't as thorough as it should be with some of the stuff.
Glenda?
I gave the rulebook a 3. I think that everything is identified nice and laid out, and you know what those functions are of the card, the token, everything else. But I guess the clarity when you just put together while you're playing it is that when you flip over and look for it and find it. Well, we play it today, and I guess probably as you read it more, it would help. But I guess there's like lacking on it.
I gave it a 2 as well. It's like they tried to oversimplify, but there were things in there that, if they were there, I couldn't find them.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, an index would have helped in the back, and there isn't one. There's no quick reference to it. It's kind of like it's all over the place instead of flowing neatly.
It's kind of a what are those old books that you used to pick your path?
Choose Your Own Adventures.
Right.
But there wasn't
This one,
something.
no page this.
Yeah.
But it's not you not
Because
follow.
a couple of things we were said is like, oh yeah, go here, go there, and
Correct,
it's just.
correct.
And then there were things on the cards, and when you look them up in the rule book, it's like, oh well, this doesn't. You don't worry about this. This may come about in a future. Well, okay.
Right.
If you're gonna have it there, have it.
We have to have a guide.
There was just it. Like I said, I gave it a 2. It's like they tried to oversimplify it, and it hurt it really badly. We were still able to play, but there were things that I'm just not sure if we got right.
It could have been a lot better, in my opinion, and that would have been just to get it to what I consider average rulebook, which is
3.
I was able to open it up, I was
Play.
able to read it, I didn't have to hunt and peck for every little thing. I was able to play the game. It does what a rulebook does. This one, it would need a lot of work to get to that aspect.
Yes.
But as far as, in my terms of what a horrid rulebook, it's not a 1.
No, it's not a 1.
It's not a 1.
And it really...
It's far from a 1. So it's like the 1, 2, 3. So it's got this huge berth. There's a lot.
I mean, I understand what you're saying, because I think it was close.
Yeah, it's kind of like a 2.6.
Yeah, but it couldn't get to the average for me.
Components. Man.
Components. Tim, you've been leading us off. Go ahead.
Sure. I like the components. There's, I don't call it damage. I haven't seen anything that was broken. And I remember when we did the first one, it was kind of the same thing.
There's one in there I got broken.
Well, I didn't see it.
That's what he was saying. He didn't see it.
And, they're, what do you call this? Resin? Isn't that what you call them?
I don't even call it. No, that's just plastic.
This is just plastic? Okay, so this isn't resin? I don't know what the difference is. Resin to me is some kind of goopy, gluey type stuff. Sorry.
What'd you give it?
A number. Can I finish? And yeah, that detracts from it. But your main figures, they're different colors. Most of them are very detailed. They're superheroes, and I dig it. And it's a 4.
Glenda.
Oh, wow, we're not jumping today. Okay, I gave it a 5.
She had to reference her card.
It's my favorite. Actually, I love it. from the cards to the figures, the colors they use. Like I said, it's very, like I said, comic. It's real comics, and the clarity of the pictures, everything. I mean, I love it. The characters they use. They may not be like standing on its own, but it's fixable. So I'm not taking a point off of that. So I give it a 5.
I gave it a 4.
I'm such an eyeball today.
I felt the stuff was above average. I like the fact that even though they didn't go with IELLO, the other company, they stayed with the small map tile. The reason I like that is because you don't get the warpage you do from the larger ones. The cards are good stock. I love the newspaper printings. The reason I couldn't give this a 5. I don't really like having to do the hot water treatment on almost every single figure in the game.
Cheap plug. If you look at D&E miniature and board games on YouTube, search through our videos, you will see the demonstration of the hot water trick if you're not familiar with it.
With characters from the original Guardians Chronicles game.
Wow.
But it bugs me that I will have to just about dip at least 50% of these things just to get them to stand up the right way.
Probably more.
Probably more. And that's what takes away from a 5. The details are they've got great details. They're superheroes. Their stances are cool. I love it. But if I have to fix almost every single figure that I got in the game, that bothers me.
But to point out, they're still worth fixing. It's not like a situation of to hell with this. They're
still worth it.
Yeah, they're still worth it. You still want them, and you still want to get them out and keep them in good standing.
You guys are so picky. They're standing on its own.
That's because I picked the good ones for us playing.
Well,
I have no problem with these critters.
And some of those are from the old game. Shut up.
Oh, there you go.
Same figure.
Oh, look.
They're not different poses.
They're movements.
They're not different poses.
No, people, they're movements. They're moving, actually. See, I see movements, they see no action.
It's like the Neanderthal.
You know what? You're just upset that we don't agree with your score.
Alright, move on.
You know what? Hey, you know what, Glenda? Then take replayability since you want to be so,
What?
obstinate tonight.
I'm just being, really? Is it obstinate? I don't know, I'm not obstinate.
I got a dictionary, day by dictionary.
Obstinate. I don't know about that.
Word of the day.
Obstinate. I'm obstinate. Okay.
Wow.
Replayability. Well, I gave it a 5. I am so sorry, but with all this boards and those, everything that we bought from Kickstarter, and all those characters, I mean, come on. And you roll dice, and how many scenarios and how many ways of playing this. I give it a 5.
Tim?
It's not going to be a boring game. It's a 5.
So not boring makes replayability high for you?
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
attached to it.
It's not boring because you're going to have to play for a month with 2 or 3 characters per person before you can figure out every combination of team that you got. It makes for replayability. I don't care about the scenarios. You can play the same scenario over and over again, but guess what? You never have the same team.
Correct.
I can't.
And since you want to make up words today, you, sir, are a festizio.
Festicio.
Look that up in your dictionary word of the day.
Probably as you're scrolling down.
I'm sure somebody in the
scrolling
comments will
down
tell
or-
us what it means.
Oh, true.
I'm sure.
True Americans will know.
Alright, so my replayability, I give it a 5. I agree with you, Tim. I think you would play this for a while to go through all the characters. And
So much.
the game makes you want to go through all the characters.
You want to.
Because, like, as I was playing Rage, and as I like to call him, Little Bigfoot, even though it's Lieutenant Bigfoot.
Because he will make the wrong right.
Constantly.
But
Constantly.
as much as I enjoy playing them, I'd like to see how Wall Climber and Redline are together. It's not just playing different characters, it's teaming up the different characters to see how they run. And I'd like to see that. And I think with that, and with every character having, I believe it's 10 cards that go with them, but like we dropped down to the 3 in the weakness card because we were actually playing 2 players each, 2 characters each. I would like to see the differences. And with the fact that you drop down, because you're basically playing not sidekicks but teammates, I think they were what they called it.
Yeah.
You get to handpick which ones you want in your hand on top of the one weakness
And just
card.
to point out a fact, that's 6 heroes that we played, and that's almost a quarter of just the heroes that you can play. I mean, there's a lot.
There's 20 heroes.
Of characters. There's a lot. It's great.
And they all have different abilities.
There you go.
You don't
The
have one
abilities,
that you don't have one
exactly.
that's the same.
Right.
It's not like other games where you have 50 characters, but 3 of them
Kinda
have the
like
exact
all the
same attributes.
Correct.
And even the ones that do have the same attributes on the side of their card, well, they may have their health may be different, but then you get into the cards that add on to them. None of them are the same. I mean, it just blows the game out of the water with that. And then you have the weakness card that you have to play if you get it. And, well, Jesus, somebody's in the same tile with you. Some of them cause a wound to every single person in that tile.
That'll be me.
Some of them.
Or, like, what was it? Is it Lieutenant?
Is it Lieutenant? Really? Lieutenant now?
Lieutenant Bigfoot, that it gives you a negative to all your attack and defense tile values. And that's not in the same tile. That's everybody on the game.
Mine is this short. One of mine was this short of throwing a temper tantrum.
So yeah, that's really a 5, right?
It is. You know, it's the replayability on this freaking thing is astronomical.
Yeah, it's got a lot. And
Endless.
then because I've got the expansions and the original game and this game, because the tiles are the same size, if you want to make up your own scenarios, this whole table could be out.
It is.
Because we had, 4 villain superheroes? And we were playing with Scarf, which every time he takes damage, his shield goes up. He was up to 9 shielding by the time, of course, it didn't help him going against Rage, but...
Yeah, that would be him.
He was gonna get his cheap pop in there.
He's gonna say it.
But
I'm sure he got his little braggadocious,
Braggadocious is another word, people.
There in the end, Rage took down not 1, but 2 super villains.
And this is a co-op game.
3 actually, but
couldn't save a damn survivor, but whatever.
One of us has got to be a heavy hitter.
Next.
Fun.
So, fun. Tim, you let it. You deal your number blow.
I'm gonna be the oddball here. I can guarantee you. And it goes back to rulebook and rules.
Rules.
The fun for the individual on the game, the fun is great. It's probably high. But I think with the conflict of rules and the difficulty of the rule book and understanding every aspect of your player's cards and everything, I think it takes away from the fun. And it makes it takes it from being excellent, above average, to, I think, just normal kind of fun. It's kind of like, yay, but not like, yay.
That's right. And
our fans that really watch our videos have seen us do that during games.
You've demonstrated it.
So I gave it a 3. It's right there in the middle for fun.
He said it's the oddball.
What'd you give him?
Give it a 3.
Huh.
Oh. Well,
Well,
everything else is high. I like it. Don't get me wrong. It was fun for me, but not my kind of game. I just thought personally gets so dragging after a while. It has a challenge, but probably the scenario that we played, I guess, because there's a lot. But for me, it's just a 3. It's an average. I'll play it, but like Tim said, it's not the super happy. Woohoo! Let's go play it again. Let's play it, sure, but it's a 3.
Maybe it was because you picked Sanctuary.
I love my characters. I have the butt-up girl,
I gotta
and
read this. I've wanted to read it the whole
but
time.
it's not my game though. I'm not a fan of, like, like
Sanctuary.
you know me. It bores me. It kind of like after a while. Well, the roll dice, I love it.
I hate to break to you, but really, I think you took the 2 most boring characters.
But look
in
at how
game.
they're saying this. Listen. These are the people who chooses on their card. I do random.
Chooses?
Okay? I mean, both of you chose
Yeah.
your characters.
She did. She picked out colors.
I pick out colors.
Give me a red one and give me a
Because-
green one.
Listen,
Colors.
because I'm such a
Colors.
random person, and I don't really care. And you know what? I had fun, and it's a 3. Now, Eric, he killed, what is his character?
Rage.
And killed what's his name? Scarab? Yeah, he's just being cocky, so.
Actually-
Yeah, I probably think he gave it a 5.
Actually,
see?
I killed all 4 of the supervillains with my guys.
Yeah. That's all you
So,
want to segue on that.
Did you actually tell us what your score for fun was?
Oh, not yet. No.
He gave it a 5. I'm going to tell you that.
I gave this one a 5.
See, there you go.
I gave it a 5 because I with this one I overlooked the.
Yeah,
Oh,
he's a
look.
comic person.
It's superheroes, man.
There you go. There you go.
And honestly, the couple things I know we were getting wrong with the rules in the start that we fixed throughout the middle, I think even Tim, yours would go up if we played it a few more times. The more we played it.
We're talking about my score, right? Because
Yes,
I
your
mean-
score.
okay,
Shut up. Yes, your score.
just saying. I mean,
But
some
I
of
mean-
some of these are pretty sexy.
Butt up.
But
She ain't tying her shoes.
I mean, like I said, it's superheroes,
It is.
and
It's still fun.
and it's not.
It is fun.
I
But this is fun.
I had a blast
See?
with Rage. Especially that special ability where he just keeps attacking adjacent characters.
He says that.
He kept saying that.
But Lieutenant Bigfoot was the one that he got all super excited about because he got to take all the attack dice on the board and shake them up and throw them down and go,
And gives him pleasure.
wait, let me see how many hits I got. Dude, you killed it. You killed. No. Let's see how bad I killed it.
But yeah, I gave it a 5. I really enjoyed the game. I enjoyed the first version. I think it's just something about playing superheroes.
It's
And
right.
honestly, the supervillains cards, I think from what you and I were talking about after we played.
Dude, there's an aspect we haven't even tapped into.
I know. I think when we got done playing, Tim and I were outside talking about it, and this game has the ability to do Overlord, where somebody actually plays the supervillains.
And junk get interesting.
Because some of these supervillains, their powers, and just their powers alone, you wouldn't have to worry about the cards. Their powers alone give them so much, and they're let's just be badasses.
Yeah. I mean, you're literally going to want a tank.
And on top of that, on top of just the villains, you'd be bringing in either the androids. You've got the underwater guys from the Antedian expansion, the Neptune style guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you got so many supervillains.
Yeah, I mean, it's...
You could run 10 supervillains in here like you're beating up, destroying the city, and bring in 2 groups of 3 superheroes, and it'd just be a battle royale.
And not even getting close to your objectives.
Or not, you could even take as one of the scenarios is basically, one superhero it's the one that you're trying to save get the cat.
Yeah, they got one of the tiles has got a shirt.
Yeah. And you're sitting here trying to save the cat.
Yeah, it says keep calm, I'm gonna save your kitty.
But you're taking 2 superhero groups against each other. Can you imagine how much damage these guys could do to each other in this game?
If anybody has watched any of the Justice League cartoons that are on like Netflix and stuff, every time the DC guys, the Justice League fights any enemies in any of the cities in that universe, they destroy like 3/4 of the city just to stop like one villain. Yeah.
But I mean, if you put the superheroes against each other, unlike with the villains where once they take the certain amount of wounds, they're done. The superheroes, once you get up to their health mark at the end of their turn,
they just start adding weaknesses.
But they take the wound card.
Yeah.
And once they get up to 3 wound cards, they're done. So most of these guys have got 9 to 12 hits that they take before they're out of the game, and that's if you don't use the weakness. Is it the weakness card it's called?
Yeah.
Yeah, the weakness card. Most of these guys' weakness cards regenerates them.
Mm-hmm. Da, da, da.
I had a blast. I don't care what the hell.
Yeah, absolutely. So what's the overall on this book?
Overall for Guardians Chronicles, 4.1.
So I guess this is really a superhero gamer. If you like superheroes.
If you like comics and you like superheroes,
right.
this is a game.
Same thing with the first review. As far as I know, and from what I've seen, what I've experienced, I haven't seen many other games out that take the premise of you're a superhero and you get to go out and do super stuff. I don't see any of them like that. We certainly haven't played any. I know we've gone through lots of these right here, and we haven't played any like that. This is the only one that we've come across.
Well, good.
It's awesome.
Here's for the superhero gamers here.
And to add,
there's a game.
You got their cards, right? That give them stronger or weaker. Okay? And you get 2 every round. So sometimes it's really strong. And then other times they're not as strong, they're a little bit weak. And it gives you that fatigue, while you're fighting these guys, that sometimes they're a little wore out from fighting.
Some of them give you bonuses in one area and negatives in another.
Yeah.
So in other words, you might be able to punch through a brick wall, but you're dumb as that brick wall too.
Oh yeah.
See, they really had the feel of the game. The fatigue is really...
Fatigue!
Guys, this is a game for superhero gamers. They felt it, and it's really good. We got what point?
4.1!
There you go, superhero
Well, we had to
gamers.
round up. It was actually a 4.0666, but
666. There you go.
If I did it, he'd just be giddy all night, so we had to go with the 4.1.
Well, good.
Anyways, guys, Guardians Chronicles, Clash of Heroes,
Support your local
4.1.
games. We support Discover Games in Fayetteville, Georgia, across from Pavilion, behind Ruby Tuesdays, next to Sprint and the Nail Place.
Nailed it.
In the Harbor Freight Shopping Center.
If you go in, let Troy and Alan know that you heard about them from us. As always, guys, game on.
Game on, folks.
Game on.
No? No?